I came from San Jose, Costa Rica as a little girl. We landed in South Stockton, and here I am, a new immigrant. My mother doesn't speak English. I don't speak English, but I start playing with all the neighborhood kids. And little kids are like that, just little sponges. They're not really worried about who speaks what. You're just playing with someone, and next thing you know, I come home, and my mom's like, when did you learn how to speak English? So I grow up, and I'm going to McKinley Elementary School. That's where I participate in Head Start, in my kindergarten, first grade, second grade. All of this is in beautiful McKinley Elementary School. So when I introduce myself to people, I am so Stockton, and I say, I'm South Stockton.
Let's go.
Oh, there you go. I'm South Stockton. That's right. And so I'm always proud to be Stockton. And what happened is when I started working in broadcasting, and I'm working at Sacramento television stations, and people have these misconceptions of not only our city, but who we are as Stocktonians. And so when I met folks, and I'm moving about the world the way I move about the world, I'm feeling good, confident, I feel articulate, I'm communicating ideas, and then it's where do you live though? I live in Stockton.
It's a whole sense of class. Association of importance and assimilation to what we see on the level of superiority or importance.
Right.
And they didn't see that. I was just complimenting you on the beautiful face, your melanated skin, how you could wear these beautiful bright colors. You could tell the story of your ancestors and where you come from, Costa Rica.
And we exist.
And you exist. Come on.
We're here. And we're here, and we can be articulate. We can have great ideas. We can move about the world in positive energy. And it doesn't have to be, oh, that's different.
A lot of people don't know that. Stockton is a real immigrant community.
Absolutely it is.
The way it brought people in the 1950s, 40s, 30s into Stockton. We had the Great Dust Bowl was the next Oklahoma.
Absolutely.
We had other farmers from Arkansas start there, got the land out there. We had people from indigenous backgrounds and Latino Chicano heritage runs rich through all the way through the valley.
It does. And so we need to own that and to say, to be so Stockton can include, it absolutely does. My life has been impacted by violent crime. My life has been impacted by addiction. My life has been impacted by a lot of things, but it's not just that. There's also a narrative of resilience, of strength, of joy, of love, of education, of my mother pushing me and saying, yeah, you need to do really well at school. I want you to do your homework. And doing your homework was a sense of pride. Like it was, I wanted it. I was a little girl who had my brown arm raised up high because I wanted to be called on. I wanted to have answers. I wanted to show up. I wanted to be part of that. So there's no reason why that story and that existence has to be different. Ooh. That's who we are as Stocktonians. We are resilient. We have stories that impact and go throughout what you just said. We are a diverse nation. We are in Stockton. We're so imbued with a welcoming of. Here's an example. In sixth grade, I'm in sixth grade, and our school is celebrating a cultural, like just a big old cultural party. And at this point, we had moved and we were living in North Stockton. So it was Westwood Elementary School. So shout out to McKinley and to Westwood.
Let's go.
Okay, so Westwood Elementary. And I remember, like, this is my snapshot of growing up in Stockton. Our cultural party that we end up going to, I have a colleague, a fellow student. His name is Vamone, and Vamone's grandfather comes in and he does a beautiful sword dance, a beautiful Cambodian sword dance. And then we have these beautiful Pakistani women, the mothers, coming in for my friend Nina, and her family comes in and they're wearing gorgeous, just adorned.
Nina from Medicine?
No, okay, I don't know. Maybe Nina went to Anderson, but this was Nina back in the day at my Westwood Elementary School.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I have a friend named Nina too. She's Packy.
Oh, okay, yes. And you know what? I didn't even know about this because I'm like a recent immigrant, right? So I didn't know about all the different things. But then later, I learned about the history of a lot of our Pakistani folks who then married in with our Mexican folks.
Yeah,
right?
you didn't know that?
Listen, girl, I was in college when I learned that history.
Wow.
I really was.
And the language is like very similar.
Yes.
Phonetic language. So it's a very easy way to think about it. The food is the spice and all of that stuff. Let me tell you, yes.
Yes.
I have so many friends that have married into the Mexican culture and vice versa. And it's the way we practice on how we love one another. It shows up in those families.
Yes.
But that's that common ground of that indigenous teachings and accepting diversity. And let me tell you, it was my Hmong community where I learned that. They were my first
the people with no
Asian,
land. When we
the
learned
people
about
with
that.
no land. We learned about that when they came in during the 70s and through the 90s, but a lot of it because of the Vietnam War.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't know that. And they were just like, the Palestinians. They were pushed out of their land because of war, and they traveled everywhere. And it's not just one because it's the Palestinians now in 2026. It's everyone who's experienced this type of suffering and also overcoming. So when we come to this land, when it comes to Stockton, right, America, we take on a community, a sense of community. This is our city too. We love it too. We want to give back to it and build it too. And so when people say Stockton, I'm like, what you mean Stockton? Stockton is great.
Stockton is great, and Stocktonians are great because you know what? I think about how like our cultural capital, right? When you think about
was one of the largest capitals in 2018, going into 2019.
That's right.
The most diverse city.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that.
Our cultural capital, our ability to be able to move about in the world and work with folks regardless of where they come from, where's like the geographic space, and then also the fact that like, listen, we're also folks that I remember one of my most impactful teachers was at McKinley Elementary School, my second grade teacher named Mrs. Shima. Beautiful.
Miss Shima,
yes,
shout out.
Shout out Miss Shima, who was the first teacher to put a mic in my hand in second grade when I told her that I wanted to be a broadcaster. Wow. And listen to the beautiful ways that life unfolds. This is me, second grade, with Mrs. Shima. I have a photo at McKinley Elementary School, and I'm on the stage, and I'm holding a mic. And then here I am as a broadcasting professor in 2025 in the Shima building.
Come on, professor.
In the Shima building.
Come on, professor.
Look at those. Look at those God winks, the blessings. That's a universe. Seriously, listen.
In the Shima building.
I'm telling you.
All because you were acceptance of the destiny. We can go. We can go. Come on, I'm on that Star Wars Jedi trip too.
I love it because I look at
you
that.
You have
to
like, look at the blessings in the struggle.
Yes, absolutely. That's right.
Oh my God.
So we have that, and we know that these are things that we can move about in our world, in our community, doing this kind of work and saying, listen, I'm open. I'm open because when I was in sixth grade and I saw Simone's grandfather doing that, I looked at that and I was like, I'm so impressed. Like, this is so beautiful. And so we have these moments where we have this appreciation, and that then is something that we can carry with us into adulthood, where we go into community groups and we work with folks and we say, you know what, that's maybe that's not my lived experience, but I have room in my lens for experiences that are different from my own because I'm from Stockton.
Come on.
And that's powerful.
That's powerful because I'm going to tell you, when I went down south for the first time, I think I was about 6 or 7, I was culture shocked. It was so many black people in one in 1 square feet.
Really?
I was like, what is this? Because I'm from Stockton. We got Polynesian, Filipino. Right. So I had a culture shock.
Yes,
it's not all the time just with race. It's just the shock of the culture and just really looking at everything and taking everything in. I'm like, I'm so used to diversity.
And because we're not a monolithic. We're not.
And then everything is around us. Like, we get to experience the snow. We get to experience Yosemite.
And we go to the beach. We go to
Santa Cruz. We go to Monterey. We got everything. I think that's why people.
Tahoe. You go everywhere.
I think people like to kind of think about, because they can't get out of their element too.
Yeah.
And so get out of your element. Stockton is the center of so many beautiful waterways. I just said this on Visit Stockton. So many places on going out to the Bay Area. I mean, the good eats. The food trucks by itself.
We have the best food. We have the best food.
Come on.
Oh, Stockton is fantastic. And I love this. So I love that here we are, right? Two girls from South Stockton,
right.
Okay? So I loved when I was reading about your bio, I was like, okay, hold on, we got things in common. We got things in common, RC. So I'm Delta College alum, and then after Delta College, pushed on over to CSU Stan, pushed on over, became a warrior. So what do I love? I love these stories of melanated women from South Stockton growing up, getting an education, and coming on back to the community. Because guess what? We're not like... Other folks, when I hear people, let me think about Stockton. What can we tell you? I'm like, okay, let me tell you about Stockton.
Come on.
Right? Because we're from here. We've been here.
So now you ready for Black History Month? Because, we're going to splice this with a little bit of the Black History Month.
Tell me. Listen, I claim my Afro-Latina.
Listen, you better.
I am.
The melanin is popping and it's beautiful. That's why you can wear that jacket, girl.
Yeah.
Come on. And I'm excited about that, but I'm bringing it back to us.
Yes.
And it's now time for us to take up the mantle and tell those stories.
That's right.
Tell that history.
Yes.
In the midst of hate, in the midst of people not understanding each other. When you remember, Stockton used to be like this, it could be like this again. We have to, this is how you work. And really working with our young people.
So
I am grateful to your powerful work you're doing here at the radio station. And that you will not be smoothed or moved out of position because you understand your assignment.
Well,
in the Shema building.
Amen. Let me tell you.
Coming from the Shema educator. You ain't ready for it.
Let me tell you one of my favorite things to say when I introduce myself at the first of every semester is I say, and I'm the first woman to run this department, and I'm the first person of color.
Come on.
And that...
Don't disrespect. No. Put some respect on my name. Respect on my name.
Oh, I love it. Because you know what? And I say this to say, and this will be you. Because once upon a time, I was sitting in your seat as a Delta College student taking these broadcasting classes. And I didn't think, oh yeah, one day I'm going to go for my doctorate because I'm doing that now. But I say... You got this. You can do anything. You can do anything. It's going to be for you because you got to step into that. We need you. We need all the people. And especially what you're talking about right now during Black History Month, during the reality of right now, everything that's going on politically. You look at the national level, you look locally, what is going on and how can we help? And
how can we bring the integrity back to broadcasting? That's what I'm talking about.
Well,
I've really turned off some of the radio because I listen to NPR and maybe some British broadcasting because I need to get an all-side approach so I can make a more informed decision. I just don't watch one side of the news. I look at because I got to go in the rooms and I got to be able to explain what's going on.
It's critical.
I got to be informed.
We have to be informed. I think what you're talking about now. Yes, we know that when we subscribe to a certain media, if I watch a YouTube channel and then I watch another YouTube channel, the algorithm is going to give me something that I just watched, right? It's going to give me something related to that. So that is one of the reasons that this information can be tricky for us. We need to understand that some of our core responsibilities as folks who are moving forward in a 21st century digital literacy world is to have digital literacy.
Come on.
We have to be able to understand what is being consumed. Ask who was the author of this.
Understand biases
check the credentials,
too.
The biases.
Doctor,
absolutely.
PhD. You better learn it.
It's an EdD, but it's on its
way.
It's
an EdD. That's okay.
It's on its way. It's on its way.
It's important on what you're feeding your body.
Yes.
Because your mind is inside your body, right?
It is. And
okay.
And the responsibility that we have when we're looking at information, the responsibility that we have to fact check that information before we share, before we hit share, and before we hit republish. Because truly there are many members. You talked about this area being a news desert. That's something that we talk about all the time in this program. This program talks about our news literacy, the way that we simply don't have the the way that things used to be when you had a bigger staff of folks who could go into a room. But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing, because what this means now is that it is a power of the people. So we're still here, we're still present. What I recommend is that as individuals that we do show up to our public meetings, that we find out what's happening, because local government is so important and so many decisions take place in local government that we have to inform ourselves. And that doesn't just mean watching a snippet of something, but taking your time to actually show up to public meetings and to find out what is happening, what are the issues that are being discussed, and how will they affect me. And yes, normally we did look to a form of media to give some kind of contextualization to that. But I think where we are today is there's a general distrust of like, who can I trust? I don't know exactly. I need to vet my media. So yes, we should vet. And we should also understand that this is something that for us to be citizens of this society, of this space, that it is an obligation for us to show up and then also to fact check before we share our information. Because there is too much disinformation.
Or your opinion. Opinion that can hurt somebody because you didn't fact check your opinion. Is that okay to say? I don't know, because the 14th Amendment, right? I get it, but if you don't have a bone in the fight, sit on down and eat your popcorn like a good me. That's where I'm at. That's the good auntie in me. I want you to really plug yourself, because I wanna put this on my audio to really uplift who you are. We got hidden queens and gems. We got hidden queens and gems, and it's been my dual practice as a professional in Black education and trauma-informed decisions, cultural ways on how we practice our model. So you'll see me uplifting other leaders on the Pruned Tree Podcast. And you're doing the same, I see here, in how you're navigating, how we're exposing our children, lifting up their voices too. That is to be praised. That is to be uplifted. And I commend you, sister.
Thank you. And I commend you for the work that you're doing. And that's why Common Ground 209 and the kind of work that we're doing in all of our various channels and mediums and forums that we're working with, Pruned Tree Podcast, with whatever element that we're putting out into the world, let us be mindful of what it is that we're putting out. And let it be for something that is of good report to our community. Why not create something where young people can see that, you know what, this community might have its challenges, but so does every other community. And this community also has, as you said, so many hidden gems. We are the hidden gems. We're here. And it's a beautiful thing when we can use the power of communication, whether it's through a podcast, the written word, a videography, photography. There's so many ways for our talented youth to tap into storytelling. And that is something that as we get back into.
Did you see me catch the Holy Ghost? I caught the Holy Ghost. Y'all couldn't even see me. Storytelling. Narrative storytelling is the power.
Story. That's right. Yes.
So you gotta have the heart to
yes.
tell it sometimes. Like, it's hard to hear, but let's have this conversation. And when I have those conversations, I take people to pie or some ice cream. You need some sweetness. So while I tell you these bitter things that we see in humanity, before we go, one master to another, I want you to drop 3 gems. I'm gonna exchange 3 gems with you.
Okay.
And it could be for the people. It could be for me and you. It could be for leaders. It could be for our mamas, our papas, abuelas, abuelitos. Who will we drop that to? 3 gems. And then we're going to close this thing out, because I know you got things to do and people to see.
Oh, goodness. Listen, I really, truly feel like of all the things that I do, my favorite work is getting to teach at San Joaquin Delta College, because this is an open public community college that is accessible. I think one gem that I will drop is education. We need to educate ourselves. We stay educated. That is it is a power play to be educated, to be able to fill your mind with different ideas, to learn, to challenge, and then to say, my education for Adriana Brooger,
Come on.
came to the United States as a little girl. I grew up in South Stockton with my mother. We did not have money. We did not have, struggled through a lot of things. Education truly was the thing that brought me out of poverty. And so for me, believing in the power of education, the community college experience is something that touches my heart, that makes my heart go, right? I have to like suck it up right now and say, no llores, mija.
There it is. Okay.
So, but education, that's powerful. Another gem that I will say, another gem that I believe we all talk to yourself the way that you would talk to a perfect stranger. Love on yourself. We're not practicing that so much. So you can be educated, and if you're not loving on yourself and taking care of yourself, then I don't know where that education is really going to go, because I'm going to say that. We got some educated folks who don't really know, right? You might hold a degree. Education isn't always a degree. Education, for me, a formal education was a way out of poverty. My grandfather was a man who lived in the rainforests of Costa Rica, who never had a formal education, was one of the most well-educated people I know because of the way that he loved on himself and he loved his community. So for me, loving on yourself, if you love who you are, you're going to pour into yourself, and that automatically you care about your neighbor, because you can't care about yourself and not care about the people around you.
Well, say it for the people in the back. You didn't drop this gem all in my tea. My God, Queen. What's that third gem?
Okay, and then the third gem, truly, I'm going to say that this is a gem that I'm really trying to reflect on myself right now, and this is going to be related to physical wellness. I think that physical wellness is going to look like something different for each of us, depending. We all have different bodies, different ways that we have to move about the world. But for me, a gem is a mindfulness about our health, because communities of color have been impacted, disproportionately impacted, and suffered. Our health has not been a priority. Because when we're trying to survive...
Well, listen, the gem, this is a diamond. Hold on, Jesus. Are we ready? Right, you're going to open the conversation back up again. Listen, we need to run that conversation with my girl Lakeisha Little Shaw. Okay, all three of us. When you ready?
Okay.
That was such a big diamond. Because we can't exist, sister.
Because we can't exist.
Woo.
We need to. That's what I'm saying. We need to be educated. We need to love on ourselves, and that physical health, that connection. Because listen, if we don't take care of our physical health, we need to move our bodies, and that can look different. I'm not saying everyone needs to go and run a marathon.
Because I'm not doing it.
No, I'm not doing it either.
The ambulance.
I say hashtag I'm an indoor cat. I say I'm an indoor cat.
Pet me.
Right.
Send me to spa day.
Send me to spa day all day. That's me. Right? People say, oh, you want to go hiking? I'm like, why would I want to do that? I don't want to do that. No. I like to wear hot pink and gold. I don't go outside like that.
You're so cute and bougie. I've been going hiking, but we'll talk about that later. Go ahead.
Well, let me tell you. Maybe I need to explore that. Right. But I do right now. For me, I look at, listen, I'm not going to tell somebody, you need to go do this, you need to do that. You need to ask yourself, what can you do to help move your body and take care of yourself? And oftentimes when I have students come into my office, and they're like, Professor Brooger, I'm not feeling good, there's this. And I ask them, if you were a plant, how would you be feeling right now? Would you be wilted like this?
Yeah.
Right? Or, in other words, when was the last time you watered yourself?
Ooh, the pruned tree. What's in your soil? Oh. You having to come to Jesus mode. Come to the altar.
Oh, let's go.
With your hands up.
Okay.
You better tell him, Auntie. Okay. You better tell him, Auntie. You didn't get that EDD for nothing.
I'm ready.
Listen.
Let's go.
Okay.
So we got to take care of our health. We got to love on each other. We got to stay educated, folks. Those are the 3 gems that I will leave. And I will say it has been an honor to share time with you today.
I love it. And if I were to give a support of gems to you,
tell me. Give me 3 gems.
It would be open.
Be open. Okay, I love it.
Be excited.
Be excited.
Be accepting.
Oh, oh, I love those 3 gems.
Oh, you had already preached the sermon, so I'm your hype man that come up for the altar call. And I passed the offering plate. Listen, I'm gonna plug my girl. We're passing the offering plate. If you believe in this type of radio, if you believe in this type of truth or in this type of consciousness, y'all come and support the San Joaquin Delta College radio station here at KWD. Is it BS or BC?
KWDC.
Yeah, I just wanted you to say it.
Oh.
Keeping support me on my toes. Y'all come out here. And listen, come talk to Dr. Adriana.
Oh, thank you. Listen.
We need you. We need the community support.
Yeah, we do.
Everybody that has a voice, the young people, y'all want to learn how to get into broadcasting. You want to know the outs and the ins and even the commercial professionalism.
Right. And you'll find your voice here. And that's something, so what you're listening to right now, this broadcast, this airing out, I want you to know this is being produced, okay? So this is being produced right now by Christian Robinson.
Let's go.
Okay, so we got to give a shout out because we have a beautiful young black man who is here in our space.
Southside.
That's right. Okay.
You're from the South too.
Oh, he is.
Yeah.
Oh, and I love it. And we're gonna uplift because you should know that that's what it takes. It's like when people listen and I say thank you for supporting college radio, and then they listen, they're like, that sounds like a real radio station. I'm like, because it is. Because it is. Don't get it twisted.
NPR who? That's right. I love me some NPR.
I love me some NPR. But I will say, these folks are coming in here, and this Delta College did not get a radio station license. They don't have all this gear so Delta College can broadcast.
What?
This exists as a lab for our students.
Come on.
This is theirs. This belongs to all this gear, the headphone, all this. No, we just keep it open for them. But this belongs to them. So if you're interested and you would like to learn more about broadcasting, the power of podcasting, listen, you show up here, you sign up for a class. You don't need to own a microphone. You don't need to own a camera. You don't need to have a computer with software, because we will give you all of that for you to have a successful semester.
Ashe. Thank you, Queen, for this exclusive interview. I showed up as Rebel Ray, and let me tell you, your voice is amazing. You belong where you belong. But I'm grateful that you got that degree behind you, too, so you can bring some others on the way. Come on,
let's go.
Shima.
Let's go. Let's go.
Shima. Hey, I love it. All right, y'all. Peace. We love you.
I love it. Stocktonian nonsense. And you know what? And to me, that's Stocktonian belleza.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Belleza.
That's
Something
right.
I learned. Hey. All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.